Hi everybody, Alex Deploy here from Expert Forex, and in today's video we're going to be looking at doubling your account in one trade. Now there's many ways of doubling your account and we'll look at some of the ways, but there are a few that you can actually do it with one trade. And let's have a look at that. You're also going to be seeing some live trades that have doubled live accounts in this video. And by the way, as you can see, I'm using a stunt double for this particular video. Okay, so let's talk about the different ways that you can double your account. The first way is by adding to a winning position. So the double in a day technique has been one that's been around for a long time, where you basically risk 5% on a particular trade, and as the trade goes positive, you add more positions to the trade, and by the time it hits your target, it has doubled your account. So that's the one way, and we'll have a brief look at that particular technique. The other way is you basically enter with a maximum number of lots that your account can accommodate right from the beginning. So there's no adding to the position. You already upfront are you trading with the maximum amount of lots. Now the advantage over the two methods is that with the 5% method, 5% top-up method, you are starting with a very small stop, whereas with the second method, where you use maximum lots, you have a very big stop, and that gives the transaction room to move. But obviously the risk is extremely high because you're virtually risking your whole account on that one trade. And you're going to see a live trade that has recently been done showing you an example of that. Now, opposed to the double your account in one trade, you can do it in 3 trades. So instead of doing it, putting all your eggs in one basket in terms of one trade, you can trade one trade. If it's successful, you trade another trade and another trade, and by the third trade you will have doubled your account. That's if you go for a target of 26% for every single trade, and that will double your account. And then the more traditional way is that where you risk, let's say, 2% of your account on every single trade. And the problem with that one is if you have a 60% success rate, it's going to take you over 200 trades to double your account. So with that background, let's have a look at doubling your account in one trade. Now on your screen you can see an almost perfect double in a one trade deal done on the 5% method, where you enter risking 5% and then you add to your position as you go along. And so this was basically a channel trade at 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces. On the 4th bounce, the entry was made exactly there, and it went down. It then added to the position, added to the position, added to position, and by the time it hit the stop down at the bottom here, the transaction had doubled the account. Now the other advantage of this method is that once you have topped up your deal and the price retraces, it will never go into a negative. So in other words, the stop that follows these deals is a break-even stop, and you can never run in at a loss. So although you're risking huge amounts, you have the safety of a break-even stop. Now, if you're interested in following up on that particular method, there is a website called Double in a Day Forex, and you can go and have a look at the EA that facilitates this kind of trading. But just bear in mind, this is manual trading. You spot a deal, you tell the EA what to do, and it takes the emotion out of this particular trade. But what's important on this particular website is a little ad that's on this website where I say to guys, I will double your account on a money back guarantee. Now, unfortunately, I don't do that service anymore, but I used to do it where clients paid me $200. I went into their account. We spent an hour because I explained to them exactly what I do, and I would then put on a trade, and we'll then wait and see if that doubles the account or blows the account at the same time. So we're mainly using demo accounts for this kind of activity, although quite a few people have asked me to do it on their live accounts. Now, my success rate in this particular service was 80%. So I knew that I could do it. It's actually a disadvantage to do this service at a specific time of day. I like doing it when the conditions are absolutely perfect, but even with an imperfect situation, I managed to achieve an 80% success rate, and I must have done over 60 to 80 of these trades for clients. So in order to double your account in one trade, you need to have the following. You need to know the account size. You need to know the potential target for your particular trade. Now, it could be anything from 60 pips to 120 pips is normally a good target. You have to know the pip value of the instrument that you're trading. And you need to use a special account which has got high leverage. 400 to 1 is most probably the cutoff point. 100 to 1, you will battle to do this activity. You need a 400 to 1 account type. Now, there's a lot of those around, and so I certainly have access to a lot of live accounts on that particular leverage. So the calculation is very simple. You know your account size, so that's what your target is. You want to double the account. Let's say it's a $10,000. You know what your target is going to be, and that depends on what you see on the charts. But let's take 100 pips as the example here, and then you determine what your pip value is. Normally it's $10 for a main lot, but in this particular case I'm using 7.5 just to give you a feel of a slight difference. So what you then say is that if I have a 100 pip trend and a pip value is $7.5 and I trade one main lot, I'm going to generate $750. Now, I don't want to generate $750. I want to generate $10,000. So all you do then is you say, all right, how much must I multiply 750 by to get to 10,000? And the calculation below shows you how you do that, and that works out to 13.3 or 13.5. I always round up to a round number, and that tells you the lots that you have to use, and those are the maximum lots that you can then use to trade your deal. If you then go successful and you back calculate that, you'll see that you will have doubled your account in one trade. Okay, so that is the maximum lot course. Don't ask me for more details. That is it. As simple as that. Now, here's a trade that I did yesterday. It was on the Euro Oz. And it was at a time when the euro was strengthening quite strongly and the Oz at the same time was weakening. So it was ideal to trade the Euro Oz. I could have most probably traded either just the Euro on its own or the Oz on its own, but the Euro Oz provided a turbo boost to that particular trade. So what I was doing, I was waiting for the upper resistance line to be violated. And on your screen you can actually see the upper resistance line. This currency in fact was in a very strong trend, and we'll see that in a little bit more detail later on. But essentially what I did is I entered over there. I had a stop that I could use, a huge stop, before I would have a margin call, and then there was my target, and it took most probably an hour and a half to 2 hours to reach the target. Sometimes it takes days to reach the target, but this was quite a strong move. Now, here you can see the effect on my account. I deposited $1,000. I made $1,017 and therefore doubled my account. The trend used on this deal was in fact 110 pips, as you'll see from the details of the trade below. Now, this deal was actually decided on during the market analysis that I do for paid members of our forum. I'm doing it in a live format in terms of a webinar these days, and this was in fact one of the deals that we discussed in that particular forum. And one of the reasons why is you had this RSI signal going up there. It was signaling that there was upward momentum. Also, the multiple moving averages was telling us that this currency was in a massive trend upwards. Therefore, you never want to trade against a trend that's that strong. So we were looking for buys, and there was the buy entry. But the real entry came from violating the upper resistance line, and that's what I used to enter this particular deal. if you want to see a recording of this webinar and see the format of how we analyze these deals and that type of thing, certainly go and have a look at. There's the link. That link will also be in the description and the commentary of the video. Now let's have a look at what it requires to do maximum lot trading. Firstly, you need to trade with money that you can afford to lose. That's not going to take bread off your table or things like that. You must use money that you can afford to lose. You must have a strong approach to trading. You cannot be uncertain or negative or anything like that. You must have a strong approach to trading. You do your analysis, you decide on a trade, and you implement it. There's no nonsense in between, and that unfortunately only comes from doing a lot of trades over and over again. You need to apply risk control. Now in this case, I'm risking my whole account, so the margin is call is in fact my stop, but I still do put a stop in to make sure that the margin call isn't missed, and I put a stop in. Also, I am applying risk control here because I'm not risking all of my trading capital. This account of $1,000 is a very small percentage of my total Forex portfolio. It's very small percentage. So I'm not going to lose sleep about it. And that's the way that I control it. I actually control risk at account level. You need to be obviously extremely confident. So you only take deals that really stack the odds in your favor and that you have the experience that they have succeeded for you. And you must have a good track record. As I said, I've done this kind of thing lots and lots of times before. I've got a track record. I know that my success rate is 80%. All that knowledge and experience plays a big role when you're placing a trade. You can't go and do a Forex course and then on your second trade want to try and double your account, because you just don't have the mileage, the confidence behind you to make confident trading decisions. And then I've had so many margin calls in my life because I use accounts as my stops. And you need to be comfortable with margin calls. There are people that believe margin call is the end of the world. The broker will never give you another account and all that kind of thing, which is absolute nonsense. Margin calls are actually very healthy, because when you get stopped out in a margin call, you get the margin back. So you actually get a lot of money back when you have a margin call. And then obviously you must be prepared to be wrong. So if the deal doesn't work out, you mustn't get any gray hairs like I've got, but you really should just be prepared to accept a negative result. The market is always right. We can analyze, we can get the perfect setup, everything looks perfect, and then suddenly something happens in the market and it messes your trade up, and that does happen. And then the next thing you need is patience. You know, you can't put on a deal like this and then sit there and wait for it to mature. These deals, this particular deal of mine almost took 2 hours. Sometimes they take days. So you put the deal on, you put your target in, you put your stop in, you put your trailing stop in, and then you walk away and go and play golf and do all kinds of other things. There's nothing you can do. Everything that happens from then is out of your control. You have done everything that you can control. You have done to the best of your ability. You've analyzed it. You've done all kinds of things. You've worked out your lot sizing. You've done all the things that you have control over. The market, you then put it into the market, and it's up to the market to play out the way you think it should play out. Now, if you want to join these trading sessions, there are 3 a week. We have them on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And you can go and book in advance. And it's basically a Zoom meeting. We look at the charts. We discuss. Discussion is a very big part of the session, and the question and answers session afterwards. So if you're interested in something like that, you join our paid forum. And besides this, there's a whole lot of other benefits that you can get from joining the forum. The forum is roughly, I think, $45 a month. So it's not a fortune that you're paying, but the focus here is on education and trading success, and it's on your trading success. Now, I just need to end off with a warning, because that trade that I did looked so easy and all that type of thing, and people think, oh, I can do that, so that's so easy to do, that there doesn't seem to be a problem. The deals shown in this video have been made by trained, confident, experienced, skilled, and very lucky traders with proven track records. Don't think you can just go and do it, but the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. You have to take a first step. You have to start trying these trades, doing them, getting feedback on your trades, and as soon as you've done 10 or 20 of these kind of trades, your experience starts blossoming and you start getting a lot of success coming out, and that is the time that you really start enjoying your trading. But you have to put in the work to get there and the trading experience. High leverage is used on these accounts because they multiply the gains, and they also at the same time multiply the losses, so be aware of that. But leverage is what facilitates the doubling of an account in one trade. And then lastly, do not attempt these trades at home using funded live accounts unless you are 100% confident that your track record is a good one and that you are achieving the level of success that you want to achieve. And I would say you'd need to get to a 70 to 80% level of success to attempt double in a day trades. Now back to my video double. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I've given you some food for thought. There's a lot of opportunity out there in the Forex industry. Leverage accounts really give you a head start over many other investment opportunities. And please, if you do have any questions, comments or remarks, please leave them in the comment section of this particular video. From me, Alex Eploy, cheerio.